Hi people, why bother being totally professional or trying to be professional? Look, my hair will never make me look professional, so I may as well just do my hair basically while I'm doing this video. Now, I do need to tie it up before I start though, so just give me another 15 seconds while I tie this up. Thank you. And then I will start to talk to you about the Sustanon 250 little leaflet here as you open up the box to get my ampoule. All right, it gives you this sheet explaining basically. You're not going to be able to read that, but I of course can read it for you. And I'm not going to read it all. All I want you to know is basically that the first thing that they basically say to you is what sustanon 250 is and what it is used for. Okay? And so I'll read it out, then I'll comment. Okay, it says sustanon 250 is a solution for injection containing the active ingredient testosterone in 250 milliliters separate forms. The active substances in sustanon 250 are turned into testosterone by our body. Testosterone is a natural male hormone known as an androgen, which controls normal sexual development in men. Sustanon 250 is used to replace testosterone in the body in men with low or no natural testosterone, a condition known as hypogonadism. Sustanon 250 may also be used as supportive therapy for female to male transsexuals. Okay, now to me, my mind. Okay, basically, I remember doing my Sustanon 100 intramuscular injection video, which has got like whatever 30 million views, whatever, it's got 30,000 views. And a lot of people who watched that video were people who were bodybuilding, and most of their commentary on the video down below of that video was basically like, oh, you're wasting the testosterone, you've no muscles and blah, right? And so you shouldn't be taking it. And most of them obviously didn't realize that I must have been a female to male transsexual. I must have been, or else that I just was hypogonadal. But my point is, obviously I am hypogonadal on a level, but just let's get that on the screen. Can you see that? Yeah, I think you can see that. I think they should have there, they should have Klinefelter syndrome. Why don't they have the mention of Klinefelter syndrome? They really should have Klinefelter syndrome on this page. Like newly diagnosed patients of endocrinologists that have been told that they've got Klinefelter syndrome are going to get this drug thing, this leaflet, and the drug and the leaflet explaining what their drug is and why they're getting it. And there's basically no mention of Klinefelter syndrome. Now, you can basically say it's the same thing, but it's not really the same thing because everybody's different and everybody's got whatever. I won't go waffling into that point, but I think they should have Klinefelter syndrome written on it. And I remember in my video, the other one, for the Sustanon 100, that I had complained that there was nothing said about there was nothing said about transsexuals. So that's actually a new thing, in my opinion. Not that I've been taking 250 for my life, I've been taking the 100. So I've never had this sheet before. But I think it's good that they've got the transsexual point down there, but I would like to see Klinefelter syndrome down there as well. I'd also, here's my other point, is that I'd also like to see the realities that females themselves take testosterone. I'd like them to state that also males take this testosterone, and I'd also like them to state the word intersex and accommodate the XXYs or the hypogonadal males such as myself that do not consider myself to be male. I would like them to be a bit more all accommodating, essentially, but again, it's from the medical field, the meh field, that are unable to evolve with natural science. Do you understand? Natural biology, they're unable to evolve with it. They, as a general rule, medical scientists like to say that is, it's concretely that, and it's going to be that for the next 3,000 years. they're kind of forgetting evolution. They're kind of forgetting nature. They're kind of forgetting the evolution process, the way things move and mutate and whatever, you know. So they're just not accurate enough. It drives me crazy. Yeah, it drives me crazy. It should drive everybody crazy, really, not just myself. You know, for the yes, they give information, but they don't give all the truth. They only give a bit of the truth. So it's a bit like reading a white lie, essentially. You know. So anyway, that's only my little tiniest of comments. I'd throw that paper away, like, you know. So here we go. I am definitely hyperactive. I'm absolutely loving it though, because I've been like kind of like a snail going for a long time. Anyway, here we go. I'm getting my bone scan done next November, basically. This is my year to actually going into doctors and saying, okay, all right, let's do it. You know, let's see what's wrong with me. You know, if there is anything wrong with me, there is actually quite a bit wrong with me at the moment. So I'm especially up here. Yeah, that's why I'm in this box. The doctors will be coming out to take me away with an umbrella. You know. Okay, yeah, here we go. Yeah. This is the osteoporosis self-assessment, it says, for men. And I'm to fill out this form. I'm not going to show you the form because then it shows you exactly where I'm going. I'm not really interested in anybody knowing where I'm going for this. Okay, cool. This is going to bore the hell out of a lot of people. You probably won't be interested, but I'm doing this for my own personal records, you know. So here we go. Do you take these are their questions, sorry, that they ask men. By the way, before I start again as well, I've got the one for women as well. And when I do go for my appointment in November, I will not be leaving their place without insisting that they either get rid of the assessment for men and women, stating men and women as a separate thing on the forms, and they just simply have osteoporosis self-assessment. No men and women mentioned, because when I phoned them up to ask them to send me out the one for women, because obviously they gave me the men's one, I said, please send me out the form for the women's, and they were like, okay, and actually they sent me out the men's one again. So I had to phone up again and say, no, I want the woman's one. And then they told me on the phone, all right, they said to me, they were saying like, oh, okay, won't do the act. But they said to me basically, well, there's not much difference between the women's and the men's, and I didn't give them the brilliant sentence after that. I didn't give them this brilliant sentence. But obviously, if there's no huge difference between the men and the women's osteoporosis self-assessment form, then why in the hell do you have a difference? Especially in this world where, it's quite obvious if you're a genius expert medical professional, which most aren't, but if you were, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, if you were, it's quite obvious that there are hermaphrodites in the world. Technically I wouldn't be called a hermaphrodite, and technically doctors don't see me as intersex, which is their mistake, but there you go. Because this one for men is not comprehensive enough for my personal issues, with hormones and blah blah. It's actually directed at men who are over 50, basically. All right, because that's the age group of general statistics of men that have issues or can have issues with osteoporosis or osteoarthritis or whatever, and the women's one obviously is more tailored to people who've got predominantly more female issues or prone to more female problems with health, right? And that would be me, I'm kind of lucky, to be honest with you, going into a place getting a bone scan, because I'm generally surrounded by women, which I love. I love the company of women or female types, more feminine types. I don't mind gay men, in my surroundings. I prefer if you're more feminine in my environment. So you don't have to look more feminine, that's the point. You just have to be more feminine. And then you're in. I like it. So it's actually a pleasure to get bone scans, because in the waiting room it's great to talk, and of course all the women generally, I haven't yet met a trans woman in there, which, by the way, we shouldn't call them trans women because they've just transitioned and they're simply women. No, okay. For the moment, till I get my dream reality. Like, it's the kind of contradiction, like Peace and Power 2. But my dream reality of, we're not men and women, please. We're just people. We're individuals. No, come on, please. So anyway, here we go. God, 10 minutes of waffle. And this is going to take 20 minutes to go through. Hopefully nobody got that on the screen and they're going to zoom in with some kind of technology thing and see where I'm going. Here we go. For men, excuse me. Do you take exercise, walking, running, swimming, other? E.g. walk 30 minutes 3 times a week? Next question. Since age 50, have you broken a bone following a low trauma fall from a standing height? Yeah. Next question. Do you have frequent falls? How many in the past 3 months? Next question. Are you housebound? Next question. Do you suffer from back pain? Next question. Do you eat oily fish, salmon, herring, mackerel, sardines? Next question. Do you take milk? How much a day? Next question. Do you drink fortified milk, e.g. super milk, slimline milk? Next question. Do you eat cheese? How much? Next question. Do you eat yogurts? How often? Next question. Do you smoke or have you ever smoked? Next question. Do you drink alcohol? Next question. Have you ever been significantly underweight? Next question. Have you ever taken oral corticosteroid drugs? Whoa. How long? Months, years? What dose? Next question. Are you on medication for epilepsy? Next question. Do you have a history of kidney stones? Next question. Do you have a history of heartburn, hiatus, hernia, esophagitis? Next question. Do you have a family history of osteoporosis, hip fracture, and or spinal deformity in old age? Next question. Have you ever received radiation treatment for cancer? Okay, that's it. That's it for men. Okay. Obviously, when I read the women one, you'll understand why I asked for the women's one. Thank you. And they said, by the way, again on the phone, they're pretty similar, you know. So I sort of should have said, well, if they're pretty similar, why not just combine the two and give everybody the same goddamn form? Thank you. But of course, they're not really logically thinking, as usual. Yes, the medical establishment in general, not a fan. Not a fan. Here we go. Osteoporosis self-assessment, women. First question. Do you take exercise, walking, running, swimming, other? E.g. walk 30 minutes 3 times a week? Next question. Since age 50, have you broken a bone following a low trauma fall from a standing height? Next question. Do you have frequent falls? How many in the past 3 months? Next question. Are you housebound? Next question. Do you suffer from back pain? Next question. Do you eat oily fish, salmon, herring, mackerel, sardines? Next question. Do you take milk? How much a day? Next question. Do you drink fortified milk, e.g. super milk, slimline milk? Next question. Do you eat cheese? Next question. Do you eat yogurts? Next question. Do you smoke or have you ever smoked? Next question. Do you drink alcohol? Next question. Have you ever been significantly underweight? Next question. Now this is where it starts to change, okay? Next question. At what age did menstruation commence? Next question. Have you ever suffered from a lack of periods for longer than 6 months apart from pregnancy or breastfeeding? Next question. Are you postmenopausal? Age at menopause? Years? If not postmenopausal, what is the first day of your last monthly period? Next question. Have you had a hysterectomy? Next question. Have you had an ovary removed? Next question. Have you ever taken oral corticosteroid drugs? Well, again, have to say that again. Oh my God. How long? Months, years? What dose? Next question. Are you on medication for epilepsy? Next question. Do you have a history of kidney stones? Next question. Do you have a history of heartburn, hiatus, hernia, esophagitis? Next question. Do you have a family history of osteoporosis, hip fracture, and or spinal deformity in old age? Next question. Have you had breast cancer? What medication are you taking? Next question. Have you ever received radiation treatment for cancer? There you go. That's basically it. And what my point here is that obviously, because I'm a man, yeah, there is zero There is zero questions on period situation of hormonal fluctuations. Zero. Now, sorry, but Klinefelter syndrome is actually in medical literature. Hypogonadism is in medical literature. Are they basically in 2013 basically saying to the world, not just to me, that they don't want to know? Or is it that they don't know? Or is it that they don't care? Or is it that they just don't have enough paper, which I highly doubt in this world, that to be clear, to print out another form that is much more specific to the needs of possible clients for a bone scan? Sorry, people. Do your research, would you? I'm probably not the only man that's gotten a bone scan of my age, sorry, who's under 50, okay? Thank you. So would they please quicken up the pace here, make sure that they be more comprehensive, more fully servicing all of their patients. Thank God they sent me out the woman's thing, because they sent me out the man's thing again. When I phoned them up first, they thought, like, oh, we forgot to give them the man's one, and then I phoned them up and say, no, I want the women's one. I didn't. I did have a bit of a slight, like, forceful, stern voice with the person the second time round, because I said, look, because they were like on the other side of the phone, sort of silent and like, oh my God, why do I have to deal with this weirdo, basically. I don't mind being called a weirdo. I'm fine being mad in this world. But the point is that I basically said to the person, like, look, just take deep, through the phone, I was like, listen, just take deep breaths. This is more difficult for me than it is for you. So, the fact is, I need the woman's form because I need to compare notes. I'm hormonally imbalanced, and I've had osteoporosis issues since I've been 22, 23. So, hello, I think it's disgraceful. I mean, I'd really like to have trust in the medical establishments, but I don't. In general, I actually go in and generally pay for this service that they give me. In general, that's why I haven't gone to doctors pretty much for 10 years, yeah, except to get my injection. But I don't generally go to doctors, and I definitely don't come out of doctor surgeries generally with a happy smiley face on me thinking, oh, that's great, they're looking after me, and I've got some new information there. It's generally the opposite. It's generally that I pay them for giving them information, and I just know that a lot of other people from our community have had the same experience. What are we going to do about it? Like, really, I think we should do something about it seriously, like, because not only should we be getting paid for actually giving them the information that they should have, but I think not enough people sue their doctors. I was given the opportunity to sue my doctor, okay, when I was 17, or roughly 17, it could have been 19, whatever, because I found out when I was 17, like, concretely, with my karyotype being fucking done. Excuse the language. There we go. Ruined video because I used the F word. Oh well. Jesus. 18 minutes of not using it though, so please, things are getting better. But I didn't want to sue my doctor back then because I felt sorry for the doctor, because I thought in that day and age, my maturity and that age, I thought, oh, if we sue the doctor, he'll have no money and he'll lose his house and he'll, whatever. I didn't understand insurance at that point. Didn't understand, oh, he won't be personally affected, except obviously that it might be in the papers that he got sued for negligence, for having listened to the pleas of my parents of, basically, we think our child has Klinefelter syndrome. Could you do a blood test and could you find out if he is? And the doctor went, no, I will not. I'm the doctor here. I know he doesn't, so I will not. Imagine. That's the anger, that I have still towards these negligent doctors, and I would urge people to sue the shit. There's more language. Sorry, but I am getting angry. Sue the shit out of your doctor. If they are negligent, if they don't do what you want, sue them, especially sue them, because you see, you've got a time frame to sue them. You can't. I was told by the lawyers, you have 3 years pretty much to think about this if you want. And of course my parents were like, please, Gavin, it's your decision. But would you think about it logically on the finance level? If you got the money from this, it could just sort you out for a couple of years with being able to pay for medical expenses and going to the best doctors in the world and whatever. I'm not saying there aren't brilliant doctors out there, but just there aren't enough, and they're certainly not available enough, and even the best doctors in the world don't know really as much. As I watched Kyle Anna's video there yesterday, great to listen to your voice again. They were old videos of yours, but one of them you said that you went to doctors who were supposedly the best, and your whole facial expression said in the video. you know. So let's do our best to inform the doctors. I mean, I'm not a mean person really, like from word go. Like my heart is pure, but if you piss me off and rub me the wrong way, whoa, and a lot of doctors have done that to me, and unfortunately for myself and for my parents, I didn't actually sue this doctor. It would have been pretty much fine to sue this doctor, and I didn't because I was too nice. But reality is that if that doctor had simply just bitten his tongue and simply said, okay, what's the major deal with giving him a karyotype? Why not? Back when I was 13, do you know what I mean? Then I could have been diagnosed at 13, you know. But no, I had to wait another 4 years, which was still early enough, because I actually feel a bit sorry for these Klinefelter syndrome people that get found out. Well, they find out that they've been lacking testosterone, which is highly important, mostly for your brain. I would say more than getting erections and stuff, because technically speaking, I do get erections regardless of having the testosterone in me. So that leads me to the conclusion. I even asked my parents recently. I said, am I actually XXY? I'm kind of doubting it now, because I just don't really, see myself being associated with all of those XXY males. But then, of course, I think of the XXYs who know that we're not males, and all of them, and I'm like, thank you so much for existing, and not killing yourselves after hearing that you've got this condition, because it's actually not that bad. It's not really life-threatening. The only life-threatening situation of it is, I think, psychological, really, and maybe the erection point if you're a horny person like I am. If I didn't get erections, and if I wasn't able to perform sexually, I think I wouldn't want to live, because I love sex. I love having sex. I love, using my member down below, and so that's it. I could pause now and think, what else will I say, but actually 23 minutes later, I don't think so. There's no point, is there? So this is not a concise video, but I think it was a necessary video for my files, just for wherever I am in the world, I can stick this video on for myself and remind myself of the questions that they ask for when you're going to go get a bone scan. And also, I hope that this video is going to encourage the sustanon people, and all pharmaceutical companies to be more precise with exactly and everything exactly, not leaving anything out, putting it all down, making facts real, and putting all the facts down of exactly the types of people that would take testosterone. Because I've noticed that a lot of people are taking testosterone supplements regardless of their condition. If they're Klinefelters or trans or whatever. There's actually other people who you call normal people, who are taking testosterone as well. It's actually helped, which isn't helping at all, but it's helped with the supply levels of testosterone for actual intersex people like myself who need testosterone, and they need it to be available for them. And it's not sometimes, because so many people are taking testosterone, because it is kind of a wonder drug. It does really improve mood. and of course it increases libido and stuff like that. Okay, so peace be with you always. If you can see the yellow on my fingers, it's turmeric, because I was eating these lovely potatoes. It's not over smoking. I'm actually cutting down. Ciao.